Hey, 8th grade, this is Ms. Harkness, and this video is here for you as a review for your mid-module assessment. Let's consider the different concepts we've worked with in regards to equations. In the first couple lessons, we worked on writing equations, so you will need to do that on your test. Then we moved into solving and classifying equations, so you're going to need to do that. And then for the final question, you're going to need to also graph the equation that's given. So let's take a look at what it means to write an equation. So when we're looking at writing an equation, you want to make sure that you are, one, choosing a variable, that you are, two, using the correct operations, and three, you are solving them. On your test, you must solve all three of those equations that you create. So let's move on to that concept of solving. Now, when we solve an equation, we want to figure out what is x, or what are x and y. If we're working with an equation with two variables, the ones on your test only have one variable. So you got to remember that you need to either expand the equation, meaning there is the distributive property, or you need to collapse your equation, meaning group-like terms. Once you have either done your distributive property or collapsed it in group-like terms, or even both, you then undo, so use inverse operations to solve for x. All right, now let's consider classifying for a moment. We've touched on writing equations, we've touched on solving them. So what about classifying? Well, we have to look at the what? The coefficients. Right, and then follow these rules. So let's consider this for a moment. If the coefficients are the same, then you have to look at the constants. If the constants are the same, it's infinite solution. If the constants are different, it's no solution. And then look to see if the coefficients are different, then it's one solution every time. Right, so let's move that aside. And then let's look at our last concept, which was graphing equations that we did here in topic A. When you're graphing, you need to create ordered pairs. So that way you have something to put on your coordinate grid. And remember, you get to pick what you want your x values to be if they haven't been chosen for you. So maybe we go with 1, 2, 3, 4, and then you imagine, okay, my rate is $5. So cost, that's like how much I'm paying. That's the distance my money will go. Over time would be over 10 pounds, $5 for 10 pounds, right? So that reduces down to be 1/2. So my equation would be y equals half of x. So y would be half of x, half of x, half of x, and half of x. Now I have ordered pairs that I can graph. All right, one final thing is the point 8, 5 on this graph from my create ordered pairs. So does that fit the rule? Is 5, is my y, half of x? No, it's not. Because for it to be half, that y would have to be 4. So if the question says, is this scenario right? Is this wrong? Is 8, 5 a point on the line? No. And then say why. Because when I plot this point, it wouldn't be on the line. All right, so this is your takeaway from today's lesson. Remember these 4 different parts of classifying equations we have been looking at. We are looking at, move that out the way, specifically writing them, solving them, classifying, and graphing.